NATO and the US been blocking us directly from their international military aid. And this is the fact that I'm telling all the time, because we have not received any javelin, no new weaponry, no new transport, no new training guides. Everything that we knew, everything that this is what we collected by ourselves. We've been contacting with international, no, we've been contacting with the military on the personal level. Yeah, we've been collecting this information, data to train our people. We were starting the reformational processes. We were starting the training of the officers. We were the part of the unifier program in Zolochiv, but we were excluded from this program. But when we met the instructors there, yeah, when we met and when we make like a personal contact, yeah, we became the instructors there. You see the interesting thing that we were accused as the paramilitary neo-Nazi bandits and all this blah 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 bullshit. But we were the only like far-right radicals, yes. But only one thing where we were radical is our primary order is to defend the country. And you see the results right now. So far, by my own counts and by the counts of the unit, these numbers are like a little bit lesser because we are not like showing up. We on the May 1st, we destroyed almost 2,500 enemy personnel and wounded more than 5,000. It's 15% of the enemy losses throughout all the country. We also destroyed up to 60 tanks and damaged 30. It's more than 10% of the enemy losses throughout the country. Almost the same situation with the armored fighting vehicles, with the artillery systems maybe up to 10%, but just only one unit here in Mariupol. And in Mariupol, there were days when the half of all of the aircraft bombings missions, aircraft flights from the Russian territory were to Mariupol, up to 150 daily. And we received zero support, no aerial support, no ground support, no artillery support. We've been left on our own. And we've been left on our own for the last 8 years. We were training, our training was based on our enthusiasm and our goal to gain professionalism, yes. We have like an obscure past, of course. Russian bombs, you see? That's the very interesting thing. Russians, they don't care about they don't care about people at all. If you try to, if you're trying to imagine the point of view of the Russians, they just keep that in mind that they think different. They think different from the normal people. One more thing. We, all of the military personnel in the garrison of the Mariupol, I witnessed the war crimes performed by Russian army. We are witnesses for this. Surrender is not an option because Russia is not interested in our lives. They are not interested to let us live. They basically, by the first, they will try any type of the attempts and any type of the tries to execute us, to instigate the massive airstrike, and they can just point the finger in the direction like the Ukrainian army just launched the Tochka U missile into the POW camp because they were thinking that this is the military object of Russia. Plain and simple. And these actions, they're like on the surface, it's like easily observable. And I should remind you one thing, yeah. Right now, our politicians, they're trying to negotiate with these animals, barbarians, the Russian army. Keeping in mind or forgetting completely the fact that what these people did to the Ukraine right now, they came here to destroy, to plunder, and we're trying to talk with them. No, our main goal is to eliminate threat. And to eliminate threat is to pacify the Russia. Yeah, and that's why we need the assistance of the world, yeah, of the free world that we are also defending here right now. We're not fighting just for the Ukraine, we're also fighting for the free world. Because the Russian appetite will just grow, and if they will crush us, yes, if they will crush Ukraine and the Ukrainian defense, it's based on the Mariupol. Honestly, if they will crush us, everything will be failed. They will go further. They will go to the Poland. They will go to the Baltic countries. Probably they will go to same safety world order with the collective defense treaties, with the collective defense organizations. Everything is fine. Everything will. Everybody was like getting better and better. About the question for the German officials, German journalists, about the what can I think about the situation right now on the 8th of May, on the International Day of Peace and Pacifism, and the day of celebration of the end of the war in Europe in 1945. Part of the answer on this question on the previous sentence, when I told about the main goal, about one of the greatest messages of the Russian propaganda. Yeah, one of their great messages is to bring the old good world back again. And their old good world means the time of the World War II, when the Soviet army been plundering Europe. One of their messages is to 1941, 1945, we can make it again, we can do it again. And they are doing it again. For me, like, just imagine the situation. If some may ask me about the situation right now 10 years ago, yeah, I would just say that it is unthinkable. A lot of the efforts were made to create the international security, the international anti-war movement, the international politics, diplomacy. They were working on this, but right now, what we can see, the Russia is basically declining. Guys, please wake up and forget about the Russian gas, please, because buying Russian gas equals the deaths of the Ukrainians and further deaths of the other countries that will be murdered, and the people that will be murdered by the Russian army when they will end up here. But what can we do right now is to stop Russians here in Ukraine. One more thing, that for the last 8 years, when the war started in Ukraine, or also started by Russia, when Russian infiltrators invaded the Ukrainian territory, created two abominations called republics, people's republics of Donetsk and Lugansk, so-called. But what happened there, that Russians, they showed their intentions, yeah, and we were ready for these intentions. We were preparing to this. We reacted on this aggression then in 2014, but the world did not react. The weak reaction of the world is one of the reasons that is happening right now. You see, if you're not fighting back against the aggressor, just imagine the street thug. If you're not fighting back, it will rob you. The talking with him is not working. Yeah, begging him is not working. No, just fight back, even if you're weaker. That's the strategy. That's how it works, and that's what the European society should understand. And also, I see that the people worldwide starting to understand that your prosperity based on the Russian gas has a price, and the price is 15,000 Ukrainian lives for the last 8 years. The problem is that's why we were like struggling in the attempts to prepare better for the war. People were prospering, yeah, and I'm right now very grateful for the international help, like both military and economical. But I might say it like straight, the help right now, the sanctions are still not very effective. The military aid is not enough. We need more And about the financial help, economical help, well, it's like I know not much about the economics, yeah, because I'm a military officer. I know my job, and my job is to eliminate threat. Yes, with the more weaponry, more ammunition, and wider help with training, with preparations, with logistics, with all this stuff, we can do it better. Also for you, for the international society, for the Europe, because Ukraine right now is a shield of Europe, as we were like for the last couple of centuries. When the Ukrainian Cossacks stopped the Turkish invasion, no, not Turkish, I'm sorry, Tatar invasion into the Europe in the 17th century, when the Ukrainians stopped the no, wait. Also, we've been fighting against Western invasions, like for the many centuries, but it's like another topic. Let me just check the chat for the questions. Where can I see all of the list of the questions? Or they will appear just.
Мені подобається запитання, який у вас меседж до Владимира Путіна? Оце от я розумію.
Я би так. Okay, Rebecca Barth, thank you so much for the question. If that would be our last contact with the outside world, what do we want the world to know about what's happening in Mariupol and Azovstal? You see, we are military people, but we can die any moment. Any moment of our life can be the last one, and we're trying to live our life honorable. We're trying to do honorable things, and we're trying to prevent ourselves and prevent our friends from the unhonorable things. The problem is that every hour, informational contact with the outer world, it may be the last one, and I know this like crystal clear. Our message is: don't waste our effort. A lot of people gave up their lives for the sake of the defense of the Ukraine, for the defense of the free world. And just don't waste our effort. Don't waste this prize. Don't waste this sacred prize. I really hope that a lot of people will get out from here, but we're not just like basically get out from here. We cannot just pack our bags and leave. Yeah, we're encircled. We're blocked from all of the 4 directions. And we cannot basically leave. Yeah, we can just we can be only evacuated. Yeah, because we spent all of our resources for the effectiveness of defense. Yeah, we gave up on the we gave up on the priorities of personal defense. Yeah, so we are basically here a dead man. Yeah, most of us know this. Yes. And why we fight so fearlessly. We hear it off, and how difficult situation is. At the same time, as I've considered one of the most experienced and the best prepared units. Okay, about the experience and the preparations. I really admit that we, AZOV Regiment, part of the Ukrainian National Guard, despite all of the interference from the government, despite all the bureaucracy and the problems, we became one of the most trained units, I might say, in the world, because we have the only unique experience to effectively fight against the enemy who is superior in numbers, have air superiority in tanks, also the new technologies. Yes, well, basically the enemy who is way much stronger than us. Yeah, none of the Western armies in NATO have the same experience, and we can share this experience. Gladly, sure, because our goal is also to improve the defense of the countries that will probably face the aggression of Russia. or maybe the aggression of their own enemy. So it's not the export of war. No, it's just a sharing of experience. Yeah. So that's the thing. Okay. Message to the Ukrainian government at the moment. Yeah. Also plain and simple. For the last 2.5 months, we showed the world that what is to do impossible things. Yeah, and the impossible things became the routine for us. We get used to the wounded people, injured people everywhere, but we knew that our prime goal is to defend our lines. Message to the government: well, guys, we showed that what is impossible, what is to do impossible. Just please do your job and help us to teach others how to do impossible things. We can do a lot still, and we will do a lot if we will not be wasted just here. And right now, you know, I started from the history of the siege, yeah, the examples in the history. The situation is right now is like very peculiar because Russians can just basically bomb us to the Stone Age, yeah, and basically that's what they are doing. And they are right now bombing our positions. They also dropped the bomb on the hospital again. We still can be evacuated because the international procedure of extraction it is active. It can be done, but somebody should like just better do their jobs. Somebody just, well, you know what I mean. Yes, somebody just need to listen to us instead of the Russians, because the sacred sacrifice of the Ukrainian garrison, military garrison in Mariupol, would be very, very, very sensitive and critical for the Ukrainian government and the Ukrainian people, Ukrainian citizens. I mean, people will not forget this. We know about the Debaltsevo, we know about the Ilovaisk, but the situation in the Debaltsevo and Ilovaisk was far from the critical, in comparison to the Mariupol. A number of people were lesser, the number of casualties were lesser, probably worse sometimes, but the pressure was lesser because there were no military aviation in such big counts, in such big numbers. We were fighting effectively when we had the resources to do this, but right now we need help. I admit this. 3 words that is difficult to say. Yes, I was wrong and I need help. We wasn't wrong, but we need help. Third thing is Worcester sauce. It's a joke, actually. Okay, next question. My message to the German government. Well, you see, our official authorities in the Ukrainian government already said about this, but we need united support of the Europe. Nobody should be excluded or like do something personal. Yeah, we are effective when we act as a one. I will not comment the politics of the Germany. Yeah, but well, you all know the answer. Yes. If you're like addicted to the Russian gas, you just need to quit being addicted. Yeah, and it might be painful. It might be painful for the economics, but for fuck's sake, Ukrainian economy suffered the more than $1 trillion of the outcome because of the war. Because some organizations, some people let it happen. Because of the weak reaction of the people, because of the just somebody ignored the things that were happening. Okay, next question. Ilya, can you give a sense of what you have left in terms of provisions, both arms and food supplies? How much longer can you hold with the food and water? Wait. Supplies do you have? How much longer can you fight? Well, most of the answers of this question would be classified because it's like operational security. We still have provisions. We still have weapons. We might lack the vehicles and the heavy weaponry like artillery, and we cannot use artillery right now. It's too close and it's inside of the city. You know what I mean. This still not stops Russia from using artillery, but we cannot. Our resources here are limited. All of our supplies are limited because we did not receive any resupply for the. Sorry. We did not receive any resupply. We're just fighting on our own, like almost 2.5 months. We still have water. We still have ammunition. We still have our personal weapon, and we will fight till the best resolution of the situation. Yeah, and that's maybe the prime idea of today's meeting. And I will answer on other questions. Yeah, you sound very angry about the role played by your own government. Do you feel that you have been deliberately sacrificed? What should the government have done differently? Well, very complex question. A lot of the things that we know, they will not be told. They will not be published because of for the sake of the national security. It is like unacceptable to criticize the government. Wait, please, with the question to the Putin. A lot of to criticize the government when the war is happening. Yes, and this may cause the catastrophic actions for the national security. Yeah, and we as a military, we cannot accept this, and we cannot let it happen. But since that we are let on our own, since the government has like almost let us leave for on our own, we feel abandoned somehow. We feel abandoned yet supported. So the words of support are good, but we received a lot of the words of support from the international society, from our friends, from journalists. Yes, and their interest in the situation that is happening here is like it's very supportive. But you know what is more supportive? Yeah, the friendly aviation that is striking on the enemy positions. Well, you know what is more supportive? Your commander-in-chief that did not fail the defense of the southern regions of the Ukraine. I mean, Kherson, Berdyansk, Melitopol. That's the problem. That's one of the reasons that happened. That drove the situation to the when we're sitting. Also, the normal thing, like we're doing our job and we're doing our job good. And some of the politicians, they're not doing their job good. A lot of people to do their jobs. Yeah, we gave them this opportunity. We blocked very numerous enemy forces. Yeah, we blocked almost 25,000 of the enemy forces. I mean, the group outside of the Mariupol, it's 15,000 and 10,000 more in the reserve. Yeah, you know how many enemy personnel we eliminated. Yeah, the numbers are clear, and you know what's most interesting? That the enemy they also confirmed this information. Yes. How much longer can we fight? Well, you see, you can fight in two modes. You will fight as much as we can, and we can fight as much as we need, as we should, as we must. Yeah. Well, we have ordered to defend Mariupol, and we will fight as long as we must do this. That's the thing. Next question. Please send someone a question. I cannot open the list again. Any question?
Как понял? Точку и время укажу позже. Как понял?
You can see what a living condition like for defenders, how it's moral.
I cannot see the window for
Okay.
Yeah, sure, I can see. Yeah, sure. That's okay. It's okay. We have a chat. Okay. It would be the most effective combat support. Yeah, thanks to the Armand Duplessis. Thanks. What would be the most effective combat support from within Mariupol? Be as it seems there has been little forthcoming due to the position of Mariupol. You're heroes. The world is looking, and you give us all hope and hope the support for coming soon. Okay, very good question. First of all, the whole world is looking at us. All Ukrainian military is looking at us. That's one of the strategic reasons why we cannot surrender also. That because we are the symbol of the we're a symbol of the resistance. We're a symbol of the military resistance, and this symbol should live, and it will live. It will endure. About most combat effective support, well, a couple of brigades that will break through the enemy defense lines in Zaporizhia region will probably change the situation, but it should be done very fast. And in the military sense, it would be like very long operation because it's more than 100 kilometers of actions on the enemy territory with a well-prepared defense line. It will probably last a couple of months fights for this territory. And even if it will happen, yeah, like even if the Ukrainian military will like make a breakthrough corridor for us, like very safe and wide for us to withdraw from the Mariupol, we still have not enough equipment and vehicles and it should be made. We cannot let someone here. We cannot leave some people here. We cannot leave our wounded. We cannot leave our dead people, fallen soldiers. We cannot leave anyone. And we also need to evacuate also the civilians in the city. That's the big problem. That's why it became not just a humanitarian catastrophe, it became a humanitarian help. About imminent support right now, yeah, immediate support, yeah. Couple of the airstrikes and maybe tactical rocket strikes on the enemy front lines would be good, but it will still not prevent us and protect us against the enemy aviation and their attacks from the naval artillery, because this threat, well, they cannot be eliminated so easily. Yeah, so that's why we came to the conclusion about the political mechanism of evacuation, of extraction of all of the garrison and left civilians from here, because military operation cannot be performed. Okay. Okay, next question. Deborah Haynes, thank you. Putin will be marking Russian annual victory day tomorrow. Does it give you a morale boost despite all the hardship that you have prevented peace from being able to declare full control over Mariupol? Does that mean something for you, or it's a meaningless date? For me, it's a mostly meaningless date. And also, I will like uncover the secret for you. For Russians, it's also almost a meaningless date. It means a lot for the citizens, for their propaganda, but for their military officials, they're desperately been trying to. For the most of the people, that means a lot. I mean, but you see, the Russians are desperately trying to make any goals to celebrate this date, but they will not have a success. Our message to Vladimir Putin. Well, I will leave it for the further time. What are the living conditions like for the defenders? How is morale within the complex? You see, living conditions are far from superior, far from ideal. But our main concern about our comfort, but about defense of our country. A lot of people is sick, like coughing because of the dust, because of the burned debris because of the injuries, and well, that's meaningless. That's very minor things for us. Morale is still high, surprisingly still high. People can endure. So it is really surprising how long people can endure in such harsh conditions under constant enemy shelling, bombardments, in the fights. We're not just like sitting here, like living in the basements or some underground complexes. No, that's like different, completely different things. So yeah, our morale is still high. Sorry, please could you hear Mr. Samoilenko original voice rather than the English interpreter? Oh, thank you. Probably I can talk about without the interpreter normally. Yes, I might be lagging. Last night, yeah, okay. Daria Hirna. Okay, last night Zelensky announced the next of evacuation from Azovstal for the wounded and medics. Are you aware of this? And do you agree with the evacuation of medics, or does it mean that the military will not be able to receive medical care? Well, both yes and no. First of all, I'm happy when I hear about the attempts of the evacuation of the medics and civilians and the wounded. First of all, if the politicians can guarantee their safety, can ensure their safety, yeah, that would be like pretty good job. Medics are exhausted, they are tired, and they're heroes. They basically make impossible things. I mean, real impossible things. And they're still under fire, and they should be like. Well, if the medics will be evacuated from here, yes, military personnel will be limited in the applying medical care to us. But the combat medics, you know, they created a hospital just basically from a scratch, and that is pure heroism. And well, the other things are the tactical information, so yeah, I will rather not comment it. What is like living conditions for the defenders? How is the morale within the complex? Okay. Next question from Ronnie Friday. Sorry if I spelled it incorrectly. Why it is not possible to send food and medical stuff by drones to a specific point? Plain and simple, it is impossible because of the distance. Drones cannot reach so far. I mean, 100 kilometers from our forces. You can you imagine this with drones? No, and the enemy have the very dense network of the anti-aircraft systems. So any aerial support to us without suppressing their counter-aviational radars and rocket systems is impossible. Next question. Amina Nawaz, yes. You mentioned you received in 2 months. Have you received any intelligence support from US or other nations, information that helps you in your fight? Well, even if I knew about this, yeah, this information would be classified. But you know, you might catch some information in mysterious ways, just like well, you know. Okay. Sorry, just to clarify, you're calling for negotiations that would allow the military defense of Azovstal to retreat. Your question, no, it's not to retreat. Yeah, retreat means that you have rear, and when you have rear, you can. It's the place where you're retreating. Yeah, what is basically has to be made right now because we have no rear, we have front everywhere. Yeah, we need the third party to interfere to ensure the safety and to extract the military garrison, because right now we can just basically become the victims of the Russians' execution, and they're again became Russian victims of the Russian war crime, and the world should not let it happen. Our government should not let it, and not because we are like catching the grasps of our life. No, because we know a lot and the world should know. And we're unable to share this information from conditions that we are right now, because we're in a fight. Yeah, we didn't have much time, and we didn't have much resources to spread this info. Next question. Paulo Barrera, thanks. What is officially ordered to you to keep the lines and not to surrender? If yes, by whom? Yeah, I also answered on this question in Ukrainian. We have our order to defend our lines, to defend the Ukrainian territory, which is Azovstal right now. The order was given by the High Command, and we are fulfilling this order. Катерина Стрелецькова. Скажіть, будь ласка, чи відомо вам про масові захоронення вбитих жителів та військових в Маріуполі біля Азовсталі тощо? Так, мені відомо про масові захоронення вбитих жителів, але не військових, в околицях Маріуполя по супутниковим знімкам та по даним від місцевих жителів про величезні декілька сот метрів в довжину братські могили. Сумарно, як вони налічують, там близько більше 10 тисяч людей, яких можна там захоронити. Це майже підтверджені факти, вони підтверджені супутниковими знімками. Bonnie Berend, if I spell it correctly, if you had one wish or top 3 wishes or things we haven't thought of yet, what might it be? Well, it's a rather philosophical question, so I will leave it for further time. You see, a lot of people might think that the situation that is happening right now, the war in Europe, war in Ukraine, it will resolve by like without your personal activity. Like it will just, everything will be okay. Everything will not be okay if you will not, if you will act correctly, if you will have an action, if you will participate in situation. Well, in that case, everything might be good. But if you will just like observe and wait for situation to resolve, well, that's so infantile, that's so ungrown psychology. But top 3 wishes, well, probably the can of the soda and a good steak would be a good wish for now. 2 others I will leave like for the unscrewing up the screw that was made, the mistakes that have been made, but not by us. We almost made no mistakes. Well, you see, if I could turn back time in the good old days, so that's the point of this question. It's not so attached to the main topic for today, but it's also good. Joseph Wardropper. We have seen wives of Azov troops who have left Ukraine give messages for support to you inside. Do you have a message to your wives and families? Well, most of us have connection with our families. We really admire the support from our families. We really love them, and they show their love to us, and that's good. But it's also the personal perspective, because right now we have a job to do, and someday we will meet our friends, civilian friends. We will meet our wives, families, and we will celebrate victory. But we're still far from victory. Okay. Okay, I will proceed. Are there any wounded soldiers that can be given treatment or evacuated? Well, we give a treatment to all wounded soldiers, and we have a lot of wounded soldiers that need to be evacuated. Hendrik Kunkel, yes. If you're holding Russian POWs, if so, how many? We had a Russian POWs and we changed them. Well, there were not very much of them, like maybe a couple of people. But a lot of them were killed by Russian bombs. Jack Parkinson. The government has confirmed the evacuation of all women and children from Azovstal. Do any civilians remain in the complex, such as male civilians who are not members of the military? I hope everyone is evacuated. You know why I'm telling? I hope because it is very hard to collect all of these people when they are in constant fear. They are trapped inside the bunkers. Some of the bunkers are collapsed. We're digging them out, and the government confirms. You see what is interesting thing about this? The government not digging these people just with your bare hands and the shovels. We do not have any heavy equipment. We were not trained as the groups of rescue, as the firefighters. Yeah, we're soldiers, but our duty is to protect civilians, and we're counting them all. So far as I know, we managed to collect all of the people who have been here and organize their evacuation. Okay. None of us. Are you personally in touch with your family? If so, what have those conversations be like? If not, what is your message to them today? I mean, thank you so much for the question. Thank you for your concern about my personal life. I'm in touch with my family. I have daily conversations with them. They're warm. And with this way. But thank you also for the opportunity. Deborah Haynes again. I'm sorry for the question, but how many of your wounded soldiers have died unnecessarily because of they have not been evacuated to be able to receive medical care? Thanks to the great effort of our combat medic hospital, 95% of the people who were evacuated from the battlefield to our field hospital survived. But people are right now are suffering and basically dying because of inability to recover properly. You see, the emergency medical treatment, emergency surgery, doesn't mean that people will have a good recovery, and they deserve this good recovery. And if you're like living in the bunker that was made to the improvised hospital, and the bombs are still bombing you, and it's dust everywhere, and it's dirty, and you cannot like perform, and you cannot provide the healing and the recovery for them, like additional disease. You have like pneumonia from the bad conditions and the dust in the hospital. These people deserve to be evacuated safely to the safe territory, or both, or Ukraine or third party. A couple of hundreds of them. And thanks to the efforts of our medics, most of these people are alive. But for how long? We're unable to, we do not have equipment for life support for the heavy wounded. Like, most of this equipment been destroyed. Most of this equipment we never had. Yes. Again, next question. Can you tell about your family? Yeah, no. Why when you talk to them? Well, you see, well, I have family. I have no children. I have no wife. But it's not very necessary things for me personally. A lot of soldiers think different, yeah, because their family is their primary concern. But my main concern right now is the survivability of my unit and the combat effectiveness of my unit. And a lot of people like me, and we are very dedicated in our craft. Thank you for the question, actually. Luia Ferreira. What countries do you expect to step in to extract you? What countries do you wish to do so? Is there some serious conversation on this? You see, the international resonance became so big that there are like a lot of petitions with calls and appeals to save us. And a lot of people want to do this, but they don't know how. This might be any Russia. This about the country that could step in and participate. This could be everyone, every country, not Russia, and not the allies of the Russia. One more bomb. Any country that will have enough courage to step in will be good for us. Preferable, well, I don't know. Any would be good. Any who will guarantee the process. Any who can ensure the safety of the process. You see, we showed the courage to the world. We show that we are not fear Russia. Well, we expect the same thing from the world. It's not so hard to stop being afraid of Russia. It's not so hard. It's really just stand and fight. Stand and fight. And you should not even just participate in a fight. You should not just pick up your weapon and shoot. No, your fight can be done in various ways. So yeah, this help might be very good. Should be very good. Okay. Next question. Philippe Pyatov. According to the Gerashenko, a worker of Azovstal showed the Russian forces tunnels that lead to the steel plant. Is it true? Yes, it's true. Former worker showed the map of the tunnels to the Russian soldiers, but they still they're making another type of assault. Yes, they are bombing the steel plant. They are attacking it with a small group of ground units. Small groups, I mean, up to 100 people. It's a small groups for the Russians. They're still performing the assault. They're trying to catch as much territory as possible and try to squeeze us out. Yeah, I also forgot to mention artillery. Next question.
Ти знаєш, ти тільки що сказав, що ти не одружений, і я думаю, там в чаті журналістів жінки кажуть, що вони, в принципі, готові взяти Маріуполь суто ради тебе. Я просто тебе підбодрюю.
Що?
Я кажу, що жінки, які тебе дивляться, кажуть, що вони готові заради тебе на все вже. Це такий жарт.
Є багато достойних людей, які також цього заслуговують. Але дуже дякую, так. Have there been Russian attacks on Azovstal today? If so, what shelling, airstrikes, ground attacks? Have you seen any escalation since the evacuation of civilians? Or do you fear there will be the one? Okay, Azovstal being assaulted today, yes. Artillery, airstrikes, and ground attacks. Tanks, mortars, heavy artillery, free-fall bombs. They also attacked the hospital today. Escalation since evacuation of civilians, yes, we've seen it. We're like in the middle of it right now. Do you fear there will be the one? Well, we do not have fear, basically. Fear is like gone. Every day, every minute might be last one, so well, no fear. It's not so hard to like live without fear. Next question. Gambrel, sorry, yes. There had been some claims that Russian infantry entered the tunnel system of the Azovstal. Did they happen? What is the nature of the combat you faced? We've experienced all varieties of combat in the city, all varieties of urban combat, and we're also having combat inside the Azovstal plant. About the enemy forces in the tunnel, most of the information is operational, so yeah, I will not uncover this, but we are ready to meet them there. Yes. Luke Hardy, next. Have local Mariupol residents help the Russians Moscow has appointed that it's called collaborants. Yeah. To gain the control and to remain in control. Yes, some local residents helping, but some of the people were just basically terrified. Most of the citizens, most of the inhabitants of Mariupol, they were pro-Ukrainian. Yes, that's a great myth that the people, well, maybe 50-50. Yeah, some of the people supported Russia. Some of the people were about the Ukraine, but you know what's the most interesting thing that the Russian army been killing people who were like potentially going to support them. That's insane, but that's a Russian reality. Yeah, next again. Uh, oh, what savior? Well, very complex question. Sorry, it's a very complex question because I know well our job. Yeah, like how to fight, how to train. But international organizations, they should know better how to do their job. Yeah, and we're not the people who have to tell them what to do. Uh, any kind of the trustworthy organization will be good. Deborah Haynes, did you say there are a couple of hundred wounded Kazans? Yeah, a couple of hundred. That's what we have. Like maybe more. The information is mostly classified, so we have a lot of wounded people that we cannot leave here. We cannot leave our wounded. We cannot leave our dead. These people deserve for a proper treatment, and they deserve for proper burial. I mean, the dead, fallen soldiers, and we're not leaving anyone. If Mr. Volina, if I remember well, mostly good, but not every time, not everywhere. I mean, not personally with the commander right now. Could you please address my message to the team? Hong Kongers, stand with Ukraine. Azov is the best team in the world. Don't give up. Stay strong. Well, that counts, I guess. Hong Kongers, stand with Ukraine. Thank you. Thank you for the support, and I'm glad that the people worldwide right now have their eyes open about the Azov as the regiment of the National Guard of Ukraine, not like a band of paramilitary fighters who have their like obscure motives. And we're soldiers, yeah, and that's good that the people right now understand this. You mentioned the prisoner exchange. Can you clarify how many Ukrainians were returned and how many Russians were exchanged and returned? Well, actually, I regret that I mentioned this fire fact because this question is like rather more sensitive. It was a local agreement. Well, it was actually not an agreement. It was a change. So yeah, one to one.
Там, якщо бачиш, є питання.
Okay, I will go fast with the questions. Are there women fighters with you? How are they coping? Thanks, Martin. There were military women in the unit. How are they coping? Very good. They're very strong. Next questions. Earlier in the siege, there were unconfirmed reports of the Azov chemical attack wounding 3 soldiers. It's a necessary question. I'm waiting for the other questions, and I will finish with the small statement, probably. I don't have any answer in the chat. Yeah, we saw a school bombed in eastern Ukraine today. Azovstal is defended with both Marines and Azov, who is taking charge of the defense of the Azovstal over Marines. Are we forming separate defenses? Well, Jack, I guess you have like you're not very good informed about the Mariupol. Yeah, there are very few Marines left in Mariupol, like maybe little more than 100. And who is in charge of who? Of course, the Azov is in charge. You see, the problem is that we took the very, very serious role here, yeah, to command the defense of the city. All of the units are under our control, direct or indirect, and we make a great to the people, to the country, and we expect for a favor in return. That's the thing that we are like putting the most of attention right now. That we require the support of the government desperately. Well, maybe not desperately, but critically. We already seen the support of the civilians throughout the world. We already seen the support of the journalists, and it is really, really good. But we need actions. We need actions that will help us to endure our fight. What will you consider the victory of the regiment? What does the regiment consider the victory? Well, questions are rather, you know, not about the topic. The main topic is that we are soldiers, and we think that with the categories more than personal. Yeah, and I already explained a few things to you now, and we became routine for us. The benefit of our country and our people is our main goal. This is our higher priority. We as a military, we get used to solve the problems on the battlefield, yeah, out of the political lines, and we let their jobs. I mean, officials, while we were doing our job, defending country and executing order to defend. We were on our own for the last 2.5 months, and 2.5 months of the war that nobody were prepared for properly. Nobody has expected that we will last for so long, but against all odds, despite everything, we're still holding and we're still lasting. We also know that there were some fails in defense preparations throughout the country, yeah, and we're not trying to spoil something right now, but these people know about this. These people know, and they should know that they also have failed, and these people are right now getting some points from the civilians, from the people who rather doesn't know the situation well. But our high concern is the national defense, yeah, and we're not spoiling the situation. A lot of people think that we're heroes. Yeah, the heroism is the result of the failed organization and preparation. So heroism appears when the planning is failed, and you know what I mean. I'm pretty sure that nobody expected for us to last for so long, and I'm almost sure that we were left alone here to fight, yeah, and the situation resolved somehow. And the situation was critical in March throughout the country. Yeah, I really understand this. I'm not trying to shift the focus just on us, because the problem is in all of the countrywide. But we blocked very serious enemy forces, up to 7 brigades in the numbers. It's up to 15,000 people, and right now almost 3 brigades on the end of the April and for now. And we're really grateful for the unprecedented informational support from the world, and it now, and this might really help. And the people, thankfully, right now they know who we are. They seen who we are. They seen the truth, and the truth is what values. And we know the truth, and we love the truth. We don't know how to lie. We don't like to lie. We're military. We are very people see in us a very trustworthy units and trustworthy people, and because it is, because we are, because we do not lie. Okay, specific actions. Specific actions to provide the safety of the mode. Call for third party to guarantee the ceasefire mode and to let us provide few operations. First one is to evacuate the wounded. Second one, to collect all of the fallen. With these people, yeah, we can form the group to be evacuated, both both by the ground or by the sea. Doesn't matter. We can use both variants, but we need the third party as a guarantee, because you know, the Russians, they are not trustworthy. 5 times out of 8 they were breaking the ceasefire, and you know, it is really endangers everyone, and this might be just failed, and that's why we need a third party. What is the top request right now from Alliance backup? We are in full support. If you, from what I read, see and hear, it would be immediate manpower and heavy artillery, sending one for you. Well, you see, if there would be, if that would be possible, yeah, for the third party to become a part of the conflict, yeah, to intrude, and it would be good, probably, but it's not for me to decide, yeah, because Russia needs to be stopped. It's the primary threat. If an extraction is possible, would you be willing to leave the country? Well, in the ideal conditions, yeah, it would be much better for us to stay in Ukraine, on the Ukrainian territory. Yes, well, it's natural. But third country would also count. Well, actually, we're not in position to choose. Yeah, any possible option would be good if it would be safe, because the war will end sometime, and the court process will also appear, and Russian work and those people who performed war crimes in Russia in Russian army, they should be judged, and we can participate in that process. And this is really a valuable thing, important thing.
So now we have any questions? Я бачу, що в нас вже немає питань. Я думаю, що ти відповів дуже розлого і дуже детально. І я тобі скажу, що зараз вже купа новин з того, що ти сказав, вони майже по всіх ЗМІ. І я дуже дякую тобі за те, що ти це зробив. О, є ще одне питання.
Бачиш? Так, давай.
Угу.
В чаті?
Так, в чаті.
Can you please make a public aware for their experience not only on a general basis but also the individual basis from Russian military? Well, you see what is most brutal when actually, I'm like, there are so many examples of Russian brutality. When the tank is shooting basically in a civilian person, when the bomber drops the one-ton bomb over the theater where people are basically hiding, trying to save their lives. When the front line is far away from the city, far away, like a couple of miles, and they are shooting with the Grad launcher, I mean rocket artillery. They're shooting into the downtown, into the center of the city. when you see these houses burning in the night, well, when all the city is burning, when you see the civilian shelter and the enemy is dropping the bomb on the shelter and it's collapsing, and you see the severe limbs flying over everywhere, people crushed by the concrete blocks with debris, suffocating with the dust in their lungs. Well, it's a lot of like dirty parts of the work, dirty parts of the life, but it's only makes you even more infuriated, makes you more mad about all this, because the people they came here to our land to bring death here. They will have death in return. I mean, Russians.
Ілля, запитання.
About
Вибач.
Yeah, very interesting question. Did you hear about Russia trying to establish Mariupol's People Republic? It's like, dear Hoda Abdel Hamid, you're definitely out of the context. You're definitely out of the context, because you know anything. You know basically nothing about the situation. Just please do your homework. Don't annoy me, please. I'm there is a Donetsk People Republic. It's about all of the region of the Donetsk district. It's not about just Mariupol. You know, only one people. The only people who People Republic here are us. Yeah, like Azovstal People's Republic.
Ілля, запитання від нас суспільним. Чи відомо про долю Юлії Паєвської, тобто Тайри? Що з нею і де вона, і взагалі?
Наскільки я знаю, вона в полоні, але я думаю, її участь не завидно. На жаль.
Тобто ніяких відомостей про те, що... Ніяких. Дякую.
I will continue with because I should wondering if you could give more description of the battles you've been engaged. You know, battles can be explained from a soldier's perspective better than from a staff officer. So yeah, we should, you know, the best way to answer this question is to collect all of the people from here, extract them from here, and you may ask these questions personally. Yeah, sounds good. Sounds like a plan. And that's the plan. The plan is to evacuate the military garrison of the Mariupol to the third party or to the safe territory of the Ukraine, because under the pressure and informational sources, international informational community, and probably with the guarantees of some government that will participate in this progress as a mediator or the third party. Because otherwise, on one hand, we can become like a sacred sacrifice, like 300 Spartans or something like this, and it may cause the catastrophic events in the Ukraine, because our people will just basically destabilize the situation very quickly. On the other hand, the Russians can just basically murder us, or will be captured. Not alive is bad for the Ukraine. And for the sake of the international security, for the sake of the Ukrainian security and the international security, yeah, these procedures be performed. The international laws, like I guess the 11th article of the United Nations decree or something like this can be done. And it should be done. And I hope with your, you know, informational support and with your presence here, yeah, we can shift the marker of the situation in the better way to let the forces of good win. We'll stop here, and I will finish with one phrase. To let just only one thing done. The good people should do nothing. That's how it works. if you're a good person and you see that some evil things are happening, you should stop it, but not to ignore. That's all.